So just to pick up on some of those critical aspects, like I said in the last video, there are a number of critical aspects that we could explore, and I'm just going to aim to summarise a couple of them for you right now. So one of the papers that I read in a little bit more detail concluded that basic principles and skills could be taught via a blended medium approach. Now, I think what's really interesting about that is this use of the word basic, and unfortunately the big limitation is that they haven't actually gone on to explain what they mean by a basic principle. However, if we were going to sort of try and apply that as an idea to sort of different levels of cognition, then we'd probably sit sort of lower down on any sort of hierarchy as opposed to sort of further up, looking at sort of analysis or evaluation or synthesis, whatever it might be. It's probably going to be more like sort of define this and identify that, I would surmise. The same paper identified that actually they made this online forum available, but only 4.1% of the students, based on a sample size of 114, actually engaged with this forum. So we're going to spend potentially quite considerable time trying to promote engagement and try and get the students to use this online forum. But certainly in this paper, that wasn't all that successful, one would argue, because only 4.1 students, based on a sample size of 114, actually did so. In terms of the other paper, it was looking at things like, or it suggested things like, blended learning as an approach is really valuable, and the students particularly valued the sort of the revision aspects of the post-sessional tasks, if you will, which is okay, I suppose, but it's sort of very heavily weighted in sort of one area of a potentially blended learning strategy, as opposed to the overall experience. Something else just to pick up on in this second study that I've looked at, the average visits, if we can call it that, to the online blended learning environment was only 12 per student over an academic semester. Now, if we consider a semester to probably be, I don't know, a similar number of weeks there or thereabouts, is one visit per week per student actually what we're aiming to achieve, or would we like our students to engage with that a lot more than what they have in this study? And that was based on a sample size of 53 undergraduate students. Now, I think something that's really interesting, and certainly something that would be interesting to look at in terms of further reading and exploration, is the potential merits or the potential pros and cons of engaging undergraduate students in this way, say, versus engaging postgraduate students in this way. I think that would be quite an interesting concept to discuss and do a bit of further exploring. And I'd just be interested, I think, more than anything, to see what the outcomes of that were.